Hello, I'm Brian with glutenfreehomebrewing.com. Today's brew day, so I have our gluten-free edition of the Monster Mills out. We have it mounted to an adjustable workbench. That way the malt can just pass through the middle of the bench and get collected in the bucket. We're using one of the poly bags from our bulk boxes, so if you ever buy the 15-pound bags or 15-pound bulk boxes of malt, when you're done using the malt, you can repurpose the poly bag as a chute so that everything can go into the bucket and also reduce the amount of dust that's going around once you start milling. I'm using some adjustable clamps to hold everything in place, and of course the drill. We've had a lot of questions about which drill to use. We don't recommend any particular brand. We're on our second drill and second brand, but it's not dedicated only for drilling malt. I use it for a lot of things. 8 amps is what we would recommend being the minimum, and make sure that you get the half-inch chuck, otherwise your drill is not going to be able to mount onto the shaft of the mill. Here's a different view for your reference. Here you have the gap in the workbench so that the malt can pass through. We have the side handle of the drill set up so that once you start drilling, that force will kick into that handle and onto the workbench, and you won't get that jerking motion that you might experience when you start milling, particularly the rice malt, which is a little bit tougher to mill. And here's one more view from the top where the hopper is going to feed the malt into the mill. Then the mill is going to eject the malt from the bottom, passing the chute, and then into your bucket for collection. Now you can collect your milled malt. And lastly, here's an example of some milled rice malt. Hopefully you found this 3-part video blog helpful. If you're using or planning on using the Monster Mills gluten-free edition mill, we have our sample of rice malt that we milled today. I have 2 tricks to share with you before I go. One is regarding the gap gauge. Just keep it set for millet, plus the additional blades that you need for rice, and then you don't have to fumble through all the various different blades because you have your 2 blades. I store mine just like this, and I have mine for the millet. I combine them together for the rice, and then I separate them again when I store it so that I always have the 2 ready to go and I don't have to go through all the blades again. My second trick is to leave your setting, start with the malt that you left your setting at. So if you did milled millet and then milled rice malt, on your next brew, start with the rice malt and do the millet. That way you're only changing the gap setting once per brew session and not twice. Just use your feeler gauge to double check and see which setting you had your mill set up to last time, or stick a post-it on there to remind yourself that way. Again, thank you for watching. I'm Brian with glutenfreehomebrewing.com.